Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the American Safeguard Insurance Studio. Your host, Matt McJunkins and Matt Wilcox, with Thomas Thrash and Barry Grooms. Presented to you by Hootens.com, your source for Arkansas high school football. You are now Between the Mats. And welcome to Between the Mats. I am Matt McJunkins. We are here at the American Safeguard Insurance Studio, and I've got a whole list of people here to name with me. So, Barry Grooms is not here, but with Hootens.com is the man, Dusty Clark, along with Thomas Thrash. Right across from me is old faithful Matty Stats Wilcox. How you doing, Matty?
I'm good, Junk. How are you, my man?
I'm doing well. And then
Dusty is our 3A and 8-man expert, and he happens to be our fifth best filmer.
He's fifth out of how many?
Five.
Five of five.
Hey, top five, man.
That's right.
We rank our filmers over here, and so he made the crack the top five this week.
And he actually blessed us with his presence this
He
week.
did. Yeah. He's actually here. I'm actually looking at him. So we also have, again, back for another week is none other than Kevin Bohannon. How are you, Kevin?
Hey, doing good. I didn't do too bad with my picks last week, so I got to come back for another round of it.
That's right.
That's right. We were all pretty close.
Yeah.
Deadgum Dusty did it again.
It's the rain,
Hootens.com.
He went opposite. He went opposite of my upset picks, and that's what put him in first place.
Who's your upset pick?
I think I had the Benton Marion. It was Cersei El Dorado was a big one.
Yeah.
That I had to ride in. Then Marion, not knowing they were going to be out 8 starters.
Yeah, that's a key stat.
And Ben put it together for the first time. Maybe because they 8 starters.
The Heritage was a good pick.
Yeah, that was my pride and joy of the week. I said,
Yeah.
Heritage by 1. And
Well, that was the same with me. I had Rogers by 1.
Yeah. Hey, this is the best week Rogers School District has had in football.
I know it.
Rogers School District.
What was I saw a stat? I don't remember what it was, but it was like the first time both teams have won a conference game the same night since this late in
the season. Yeah.
Yes, it was insane since 1925.
So now last week Thomas said that Dusty was an independent contractor. Now he's claiming he was.
He's on the Dusty train now. He's like, hey, Hootens.com, Dusty Clark.
Yeah. Last week he was about.
Paycheck.
Well, yeah, I do have it in my pocket. Last week though, when he started sending people to max preps, I was about to say you're the first person to ever get fired on air from a volunteer position. Yeah, you can go to maxpreps.com.
What I meant to say is you go to the Hootens scoreboard. We live update that thing.
Yeah.
It's first security.
First Security Bank.
Security live scoreboard.
First Security. That's Matty Wilcox's team.
That is.
All right, so let's get started here. We could yap all night. Let's get down to some football.
All right.
Let's start with Tue Oct this week, Matty.
Why don't you start us, Junk? That's your pride and joy there.
I'll be since Dusty's the 3A/8 man. I'll be the 2A guy. Right. And then you other guys can have all the big boys. All right, so last week in 2A, our top 10s were number 1, Hazen, number 2, Mark Tree, number 3, EPC, number 4, Carlisle, number 5, Bigelow, number 6, Mount Ida, 7, Dirks, 8, Mineral Springs, 9, Hector, and 10, Clarendon. So during the Friday night, there are some few big games, but most of the top guys handled things pretty easily. Hazen rolled through Baptist Prep 51-6. Mark Tree beat Earl 34-18. EPC, they rolled. They won 68-42, but, giving up 42 points, kind of curious to know when those 42 came.
Yeah.
Carlisle beat Episcopal 48-21. That's a pretty big win for Carlisle because Episcopal is a pretty good football team, and the losses they have had have been close. Yeah. So to make a statement like that, hey, we're going to beat everybody. Everybody we play, we're going to stick 40-50 on.
Yeah. Definitely the biggest test for Carlisle so far.
100%. 5 Bigelow did not play. 6 Mount Ida, they beat Poland 28-0. I thought that was a big win for them. Number 7 Dirks beat Murfreesboro 39-12. Mineral Springs beat Lafayette County 66-30. 498 yards of rush in that game. for Mineral Springs. Hector lost to Conway Christian 34-30. Surprise right
That
there.
is a surprise, yes. Because Dusty was at the Clarendon Hector game, and that was and Clarendon's a good team.
I've seen both of them play. I watched Conway Christian play Baptist first game of the season, and they're young, but they have some really talented skill players. But their line was kind of, I thought Hector had the line won in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Evidently, I was wrong.
Well, Conway Christian is definitely much improved.
Yeah.
And they got a quarterback that can play football.
Yeah. He comes from a good bloodline.
What was their win total last year? Was it 1?
1.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think this 10th grade class, they were undefeated last year.
They won the conference last year too. Eh?
Yeah.
And then Clarendon, number 10, beat Cross County 32-6.
Clarendon style.
That's how they do it.
That's how they do it.
So, Hazen, number 1, they will stay at number 1, 5-0. They'll play England this week at home. Number 2, Mark Tree, also 5-0. They'll play a little tougher team in Des Arc on the road. EPC, I got a little question mark beside EPC. They beat Clarendon by 2 a couple weeks ago. Then they give up 42 to McCrory. I want to see them.
You are the only one with the question mark.
I know.
I know.
You're
I know. I'm the only one.
Me and Junk had arm wrestle earlier because he was wanting to bump him.
Bump them?
Yeah.
For Mercy Rule and McCroy, the defending state champs? Calm down there.
Easy,
Hey, don't mess my
easy.
EBC. hey, Gaines probably still had 300 yards.
Oh, I bet he did. 68
carries.
points.
Yeah.
177.
Oh, he's an off night.
Yeah. He only had 12 carries, though.
Had to go flip the laundry at
So
halftime.
their points they gave up had to be late.
Probably so.
They were.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
All
were.
right. So the EPC will play Cross County at home. Carlisle, they're off this week. They're at number 4, 5-0. They had a big week. We'll see when we get to the stats here in a little bit, but they're running back.
Sullivan, he's legit.
Yeah, had a great night. Number 6, Mount Ida. They're 3-1 after that win after beating Poen. They'll play Lafayette County, who's licking their wounds after giving up 66 Friday night. Number 7, Dirks plays Mineral Springs. Big game right there. Conference matchup.
Hey, so Ernest, their coach, that left in after spring football from Mineral Springs. He goes from Mineral Springs to Dirks.
Yeah.
And now Mineral Springs, who won 0 games last year, is
Let's just say he wasn't expecting them to be Mineral Springs is 5-1 right now.
no. So this is a great matchup.
Yeah.
We're going with Dirks, but this is our.
I mean,
Spencer-
you look on paper, you probably should.
Yeah.
Yes, but Spencer, in his heart, he said Mineral Springs is his favorite team now. He filmed them last 2 weeks ago.
I, by the way, am not going with Dirks.
Okay.
Shocker.
So number 8, Mineral Springs at Dirks. The winner of that game will probably be, 7 or 6, and the other one will be right behind them. Number 9, Clarendon plays at McCrory. Clarendon better show up after McCroy seems to be a little improved from what they started the season. And then number 10, Conway Christian, playing a Decatur team that's down a little bit, so probably rolling that one.
Yeah.
All right, so that'll bring us into 3A. Last week in 3A, we had Prescott number 1. They won 55-20 over Junction City. Boonville number 2, they beat West Fork 48-21. Number 3, Charleston won against Cedarville 48-6. Melbourne was number 4. They beat Yeovil Summit 44-0. Newport, number 5, they beat Salem 44-28. Rising did not play. Bismarck at number 7 beat Paris 55-0. Number 8, Hoxie won 55-6 against Palestine Wheatley. Number 9, Lavaca beat Hackett 35-6. And number 10, Fordyce won against Drew Central 50-24. So this week, in between the mats, 3A top 10, number 1, still Prescott. The Curly Wolves will play Falk this week. Number 2, Boonville will play Greenland. Number 3, Charleston will be at Mansfield. Number 4, Melbourne will play Salem at home. Newport will be at Atkins. Number 6, Rising will play at Camden Harmony Grove, and that should be a great ball game.
I think
Dusty will be there.
Yeah, that's our game of the week in 3A for Hootens.
I think Camden Harmony Grove is probably a sleeper right now.
Yes. I would not. I was at Haskell Harmony Grove last week at Lamar. That was a great game.
I went back and looked over Camden's Harmony Grove season, though. I've been sleeping on them a little bit, I think. I wouldn't be shocked if that's a good game.
What about Rising?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, they're playing, but they've done nothing but dominate.
Yeah. So this should be a great game.
You know, Rising, they had their closest game 3-point win over Bismarck, who was solid.
Yeah. Solid.
And then you go look at who Camden Harmony Grove plays. They played Haynesville, Louisiana, perennial 1A state power in Louisiana. I mean, top-notch program. Then they played Harding, and let's be honest, a lot of people don't want to go play Harding.
That's right.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's tough.
Nobody wants to play Harding.
I mean, yeah.
Speaking of Bismarck,
Glen Rose folded up shop. Yeah, they didn't want to play him either.
Yeah. So we got Bismarck at 7, who will play at Glen Rose, which I think that'll be a pretty good ball game.
I think so too, Matt.
Number 8, Hoxie will play at Corning. Number 9, Lavaca at West Fork. And number 10, Fordyce. And we kind of went back and forth on who to put there at that 10 spot. You got Gurdon, Camden Harmony Grove, Center Point, Walnut Ridge that are all fighting for that 10th spot.
If Center Point picks up another game or two, they're really going to be pushing.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Where do you got Melbourne?
Got Melbourne at number 4.
Okay, that's good. Melbourne, they're my team now. I went and saw them at Hoxie, and they're fun to watch.
Yeah.
And then we got Melbourne, then we got Batesville / Melbourne. Because isn't half of their team from Melbourne?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Even their old coach. Yeah, even the old ball coach.
Yeah.
Coach Stu's gotten great headed over the years, boy. He's a great guy. Great guy.
He was at
really
Northside too, wasn't he? With Matt Jones, or who was one of the coaches was there?
No, Stu's been at Batesville for.
It wasn't Youngblood.
He was there in the late '90s. He did 2 stints at Batesville because he's at Batesville from like '93 to like '96, and I think it's Van Buren he went to, not Northside.
Okay.
And then he came back. And then he came back about '02 when they won the state championship in '03.
Yeah.
So he's a huge Dave King guy.
He's got things turned around in Batesville.
Well, Dusty, why don't you talk to us since you're our 3A resident? Give us some scoop on 3A this week.
Oh, well, obviously, game of the week, you got Rising, Camden Harmony Grove.
Is that where you're going?
That's where I'm headed to. I cannot wait to
we send our 5th best filmer to those games of the week.
Hey, 5th best filmer, best game of the week.
Is that on TV?
Oh, yeah, it'll be on Hootens.com.
Thank you, Dusty.
About 12 o'clock Friday night on YouTube.
So my new thing is I went to the Greenbrier games, but when Greenbrier's playing away, now that we're playing, across the coast now, every other week, I've been watching. Now that so many teams play online,
oh yeah,
it's awesome.
I usually try to pick up some of the BB game or.
Hey, so on our scoreboard, I'll do it this week. I'll put their live stream next to it, underneath it, so you can see the scores.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then click on it if it's close.
That'd be cool.
Wow.
We're big.
That's
time.
like the NFL deal where you
exactly. We're still working on the new website.
Gamecast.
But
Red Zone.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So, I'll put everybody's live stream underneath it. So it'll say, Greenbrier 0, Lake Hamilton
-6.
Watch now. Yeah, no. Yeah. Hey, that's gonna be. I can't wait for that game.
Yeah.
So the other
that makes one of us.
other game that I really look forward to, Charleston and Mansfield. That's a huge rivalry. It used to be a Week 10 game. Conference flipped around. They moved it to Week 6 now.
Mansfield's 4-1, right?
Yeah, they're 4-1. They got a nasty defense. They had 4 turnovers against Greenland. Greenland went in on homecoming and upset them. So they're upset. I say they're upset. They're trying to.
I think they're a light 4-1. I mean, they're outside the top 10, obviously.
Yeah.
In my opinion. But anything could happen. They've had some weird games in that conference the last couple of weeks. You had a 19-13 game, and then last week you had an 18-14 game or something like that. But you start to see it this week. Lavaca at West Fork is kind of intriguing to me in that 1-3A. You're going to get to see a little bit more of Lavaca. Kyle Sutherland and I, who writes for Scorebook Live, we got their season stats today, and of course the quarterback Maddox Noel, he had a really good week last week, over 300 yards. They've got 2 guys that are averaging over 10 yards per carry, and they've got over 400 yards rushing on the year. But the teams that they've played, I think they're giving up. Okay, they're 4-0 right now.
Lavaca's 5-0, and they're averaging giving up 6 points a game, which you can read on Hootens.com.
Yeah, exactly. They're averaging giving up 60 yards a game passing. So when they play a good team that can throw the ball like Charleston, I think they'll get tested a little bit more. It'll be interesting to see how they break out down the stretch here.
Well, Lavaca did smoke Mount Ida 45-0 like week 2.
Yeah, they did.
And
not many people saw that one coming.
No. And Lavaca was picked to be 6th in their conference, and what they're doing,
yeah.
Which is by the
on,
coaches too.
Yeah.
That's not like by anybody. That's the coaches vote on that.
And what they're doing on defense, I talked to Headley the other day. He said we knew we was going to have a sound defense, but we didn't know it would be this fundamentally a sound as far as like flying to the ball and everything. And he said that they have on the season 26 missed tackles through 5 games.
Wow.
So that's
See, the Razorbacks had that last week.
Yeah, my
In the
Pee Wee
first
team.
half.
My Pee Wee team had that last week too in Batesville.
All right, Junk, you want to take us through 4A?
Yeah, let's go week 6 here in 4A. Let's start with week 5. Arkadelphia, they were number 1, 5-0 now. After they beat Mena 54-7, and they just keep doing it, in a pretty large way. And number 2, Harding Academy, finally got tested a little bit. A little shocker that it was Lone Oak that tested them, although
Lone Oak has more athletes than anybody in the state. I mean, they
got a quarterback. Yeah. It doesn't shock me that Lone Oak's competitive. It just shocks me that after what Harding Academy's done all year long, that this is
sustain that for that long. Coming off the Stuttgart win, you're gonna have a letdown.
Yeah.
It's like because that's everybody's saying that's a conference championship, and then all of a sudden now it's like, okay, you're gonna have a letdown. And first half they did.
And I think for most of it kind of gives us we might have a pretty good game in the semis or finals this year.
Yeah.
With them and whoever.
Yeah, absolutely.
It may not be them just running away with everything.
Yeah, but it may be.
It could be, but you could say that you could say the same with Arkadelphia too.
Yes.
All right, number 3, Star City beat McGee 27-6. Warren, number 4, beat Cross at 41-14. Stuttgart 5 did not play. Ashdown did not play. 7, Malvern beat Waldron 57-0. Lamar, number 8, lost to Haskell Harmony Grove 45-14. I missed on that one. Number 9, Pocahontas beat Gosnell 35-8. And then number 10, McGee lost to Star City 27-6. So this week in 4A, we have Arkadelphia, the Badgers at 5-0 at number 1. Donovan Witten and the boys are continue to put up big numbers on offense and doing a pretty good job keeping people from scoring.
Yeah, I mean, really, the only game they've been tested is Hot Springs, right?
It was, and I think we figured out pretty quick that Hot Springs defense is a lot better than people thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and their offense is just as good as people thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Number 2, Harding Academy is going to play down the road up Highway 67, just about 10 miles there at Bald Knob. Number 3, Star City at Helena. 4, Warren at Dumas.
Oh, so you have Star City, who lost to Warren ahead of Warren.
Yes, we do.
Okay, just making sure that that's correct.
Matt may not agree with that.
Hey, but that is something head to head. But Star.
But you got the triangle.
They got the triangle.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
And they're ahead of Stuttgart,
Yeah.
yes,
who beat
Warren.
Okay.
Warren.
Okay.
All right.
We have that issues over here too. So
Stuttgart versus Riverview. Number 6, Ashdown 5-0 at Malvern. Big one right there.
Yeah.
Number 7, Malvern. As we just said, they'll be at home against Ashdown. Number 8, Pocahontas at Harrisburg. 9, Haskell Harmony Grove making their way into the top 10 this week. They'll play a Dover team at home. And then number 10, the McGee Owls will take a week off.
So we're looking at that Ashdown-Malvern game. Ashdown loaded with talent. It's got some D1 talent on that team. Against a Malvern team that's just a really good sound football team, got a 4-year starting quarterback. That should be a good, fun ball game.
And nobody's can even slow them down.
And their running back is legit. I mean, he is
A Dupree kid.
Yes,
Yeah,
he's
he
a
is.
junior.
Yep.
And he is. We saw him against Hot Springs Lakeside, and he put on a show.
Yeah, Kevin, they're scoring so many points, it's unreal.
But
Yeah, we talked about it last week, and I think somebody was crazy that I thought that they would, score as many points they did. But nobody thought they played. Who'd they play out of Texas earlier this year?
I don't remember.
Pretty handily. I forget, but yeah. But even though, Jalen Dupree, the one thing that they figured out last year, and JD, Coach Plumley, is to withstand the SEC West is what we always called the 7-4A, and especially when you had PA, Malvern, Arkadelphia, Nashville, all those schools in there.
Oh, that was a great
It was always a
conference.
tough conference. And you got 6 in there now, but still, when you get down to it, Arkadelphia still has to play Ashdown and Malvern down the stretch right here. So those guys had to get bigger and stronger. They're already fast, but so Dupree puts on 20 pounds of muscle,
Wow.
in a year, and And Austin Warford, who was quarterback on that 2011 team that lost to PA in the finals, John Fogelman was the head coach down there at the time, is a strength coach there. So you got a hometown kid that's really putting back into the program, and they don't have a whole lot of depth, but the guys they got on the front line can absolutely go.
Yeah, and Ashdown has a 6'7" lineman that is committed to UCA. That's you'll make y'all happy. Who has a 4.0 GPA, works 2 jobs, like a great kid.
That's awesome.
I think it's Xavier Brown.
Yep,
yeah, Xavier Brown. He's a beast. And
wonder if he can sell insurance. He can work here.
Yeah, exactly. NIL money. Right. Hey, so and then they have obviously Shamar Easter is the best player in the state.
Yeah.
But he's
the Fritz kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, the running back.
Yes, last week he had 10 carries, 220 yards, 3 touchdowns, 67 receiving yards.
He's a man too.
And so but here's the thing. Easter is you don't have to ask what number he is when you walk on the field.
Oh,
that's him.
Yeah.
And then they have another guy that's a sophomore, number 10. I think it's Braden Walton, who probably catches better than Easter.
They've been giving Easter the ball a little bit out of the backfield this year.
Yeah. So they keep him in tight, but they have these 2 receivers. One of them's number 8. I can't remember his name. And then 10 is the sophomore, Braden Walton, who goes up and gets it. Yeah. And then so if they put out Easter and they have 3 guys that can literally are better than everybody else on the field.
That's wild.
And all you got, I think, you close your eyes and just throw it up in the middle of the field. One of those guys is going to get it.
Oh yeah.
Good problem to have.
It is. All right, Matty, 5A, do it.
All right, 5A. Last week we had Parkview at number 1. They beat DeQueen 42-0. Robinson number 2 put it on Valonia 42-3. Magnolia beat Hot Springs Lakeside 55-28. Camden Fairview beat Texarkana 21-8, which is a little bit surprising score there to me. A Texarkana that's kind of struggled so far this year, but seemed to be getting it together and playing a little bit better as we go along.
Camden Fairview has had a couple games where they didn't really score a lot. They really struggled against Arkadelphia.
Right.
But everybody does.
Well, you're talking about playing a class down too.
Yeah, but I mean Arkadelphia.
I get that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they played Green Bear tough last year.
Hot Springs did not struggle, I guess, versus Arkadelphia.
Right.
They're in the same conference.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Number 5, win. The Yellow Jackets beat Brooklyn 59-27. Shiloh Christian beat Dardanelle 55-0. Harrison, close loss to Prairie Grove 46-40. Prairie Grove edged them there at the end of the ball game. Number 8, Alma beat Farmington in a surprising score to me anyway, 43-8. Batesville, number 9, beat Paragould 35-0, and BB lost to Pine Bluff 49-14.
I talked to somebody this week that said they saw the BB Pine Bluff game, and they said that if Pine Bluff can keep it together, they're as good as anybody in the state.
Well, I talked to the guys that called the color and the play-by-play for the Valonia Pine Bluff game.
Yeah.
And they said to just look at the ball game. They couldn't figure out how in the world Valonia beat them.
Yeah.
Like it was just.
We're figuring that we're looking at the same thing. Like what happened? How in the world did that happen?
Yeah.
Especially, I'm looking at the game Friday night thinking, how's BB getting beat by them after they lost to Valonia?
Right.
But apparently they're pretty doggone good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just whichever team
They're
shows up.
figuring it out.
Yeah, I think that's it. And then new coach, right?
Yeah. Three
Michael
of the 4 Pine Bluff teams have new coaches.
Wow.
Watts Chapel, Pine Bluff, and then
Whitehall.
Whitehall. Yeah.
All right, so this week, our new top 10, a lot of it stays the same. Parkview stays at 1. They play Hope this week. Robinson will be at Maumelle. Number 3, Magnolia will play Camden Fairview at home, which will be a good ball game. We have Fairview at number 4. Number 5, Wynn will play at Valley View. Number 6, Shiloh will play Harrison at home. Number 7, Batesville will play Forest City at home. Farmington will play Dardanelle at home. Number 9, Nettleton will play Paragould at home. And number 10, Mills will play Pine Bluff.
That game might be 100-98.
Which one? Which game?
Mills and Pine Bluff.
And I think
Yeah.
Or it could be 10-10.
Exactly. It's going one extreme or the other.
Yeah.
It's kind of like last year.
If it's low scoring, there'll be at least 7 interceptions.
and
36 penalties.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you look at that game and you think, well, we're going to find out a lot about both of these teams, but we might not find out anything about either one of them.
No, so this I previously thought this was a 3-horse race with Parkview, Robinson, and Shiloh, and now based off of our other filmer Daryl, who was at the Magnolia game, he is in love with Magnolia now.
Well, Coach,
Absolutely.
yeah, Coach King said this is the best team that he's had since he's been there.
Yeah, he's in love with. He's like, I know they just run the ball. He's like, and I normally hate that, but it was so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
He's like,
The only thing that worries me is that Nashville game was not a good win. They had to score late to beat the Scrappers.
Well, yeah, but everybody has a bad win. I mean, no matter you look at any state championship team, any team that goes deep, they're going to have a bad game. Look at Harding Academy. I mean, just think about who else? PA with Russellville. I mean, they had to score late. They were down at halftime. And
I mean, Greenbrier 4th grade Pee Wee lost one Saturday. They shouldn't have lost.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I mean, and even Alabama when they go back to win, they're going to go Texas. Really? Yeah. The Texas game? Yeah. so yeah, I'll give them one. But if they have like another 2 or 3 like that, then yeah.
Sure.
If they pull out a 21-19 win or DeQueen, then we'll talk.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dustin.
You got to punch and find yourself that first 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have no idea what's going on. But now Magnolia. So Magnolia's got Camden Fairview this week. That'll be a good game.
Honestly could go either way.
Yeah. I mean, but we're picking Magnolia. But it's I got to watch Shiloh this last week against Clarksville. This is my first time to see him live this year. You know, I saw him in 7-on-7 and stuff. But Clarksville was down some defenders.
They're bad down.
Yeah, and so they had another guy hurt, and so. But Eli Wisdom, have you seen it? Have you seen him like run?
Yeah, we
watched them last year in the
against
semis.
Arkadelphia.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know he could run that fast. Yeah, I didn't know he was actually.
He's an athlete.
Yeah. I mean, he broke one the first.
He's not big.
No. He's a
little
size.
guy.
But he can. Yeah, and then he made some throws. And he did a little Brett Favre throw where he threw it.
He did that last year.
I'm doing it on here like people can see it. He shove it past it.
That's good form, Thomas.
Yeah, but then they take it, 60, and then it gets called back. But it was a great play,
right?
And then their receivers, Brody Neal, goes up over 4 guys from Clark. 4, like I'm looking at the film. There's 4 guys, and he just goes up and gets it.
I've been told, make no mistake, that offense is centered around Brody Neal.
Yeah, I mean, but they've got a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
I mean, Bo Williams is a junior, running back, receiver, and then they've got another tight end, like number 86, who's huge. I mean, they do things right.
So Wisdom's been offered by UCF, right?
I think that's right.
Okay.
I think so.
Good.
Has he picked up any more offers?
I'm not sure.
Not sure.
He's going to struggle just like every other quarterback we talk to who's not 6 foot.
That's right.
I mean, it's hard.
Yeah.
You could have
Kyler Murray.
You can have the greatest stats in the state, but if you're not 6 foot, I mean, Matt knows.
I fought it all last year. I know.
Oh, I have no idea what you're talking about.
All right, let's get on to 6A here. All right, so we were at PA last week was 4-0. They beat Mountain Home 52-14 to move to 5-0. Greenwood number 2 beat Greenbrier 49-21 in a game that was really close the first half. Let me tell you, Matt, watching that game made me feel really good about the coming years.
I agree.
For Greenbrier.
Yep.
You look at that. We got a small senior class. Carter McElhaney's a stud, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
no doubt.
can you replace him?
Yeah, probably not. But if this team right now had Elijah Weaver, who's out, who overall is the best football player on the team,
Without question.
yeah, both sides of the ball. I mean, he's great. This team would be a lot better this year.
Yeah.
Just by having him.
Man, he was our best defender by far.
Yes.
Speaking of defense, one thing I noticed during that game, Greenbrier defense is very, very good at flying to the football.
If we didn't start, we were last year too, but we didn't start this year that way.
Right.
But I did notice that as well.
And that they had some missed tackles late but they spent the majority of the second half on the field, because there's some issues on offense, whatever. But the entire game they were laying licks, popping pads, and they got them back in the game in the second quarter. Mm-hmm. Greenbrier was down 21-7, and then they came back and tied it at 21 because of 2 turnovers. I mean, magnifique by me.
Yeah.
So it made me feel a lot better. They're just going to struggle this year. they're down a little bit, get thrown into the gauntlet of 6A West, right?
And now they go to Lake Hamilton,
Right.
who's maybe the most physical team in the state.
And so when I say things like you're the only one that's excited about that, it's not that I'm down on Greenbrier. It's just, man, we're going through it right now.
Out of 22 starters, we're starting 11 sophomores.
That's right.
That's
right.
great. See, that's exciting though. I mean,
It is. And I coached this junior class in Pee Wee, and I'm telling you, there's a lot of studs in that.
that's why they're so
That's
good.
And Matt coached the sophomore class, and there's a lot of studs. That's right. That's why they're so good. They've been indoctrinated.
Yeah, that's why they fly the ball so well.
That's right. All right, so they beat Greenwood beat Greenbrier 49-21. Number 3 Catholic beat West Memphis 37-16. Lake Hamilton number 4 beat Van Buren 60-21. That game was a little close early, but they in just like that, it was like boom. Oh,
I
wow,
love that y'all
Yeah.
ranked Catholic above Lake Hamilton.
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, we're high on Catholic, but we don't
So-
see them that.
Hey, don't mess with me. I'll put him at 2.
Hey, I love Fogelman. I love Fogelman.
So y'all tell me
I
this.
do too. I've known him my whole life. I love Fogelman to death.
Oh yeah,
There ain't no
he'll
way
be
they
mad
can
at
get
you.
on the field with Greenwood or Lake Hamilton right now. Lake Hamilton they could. I don't think they could stop Greenwood.
So
or PA.
No, yeah, I'm not even talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So for number 2, you think they're legit 3?
I can see them a legit 3, yeah, because of their defense.
So
they
was
play
it?
hard.
So was it?
They play hard.
Was that West Memphis? That West Memphis game was close for a long
They were
time,
down.
right?
West Memphis was up at half.
Yeah.
Yeah, Catholic made some mistakes early on, and had some penalties and everything. But just West Memphis' discipline just went downhill after halftime. It seemed like they were wanting to fight with each other and do everything, and Catholic just took advantage of it.
Yeah.
Hey, as a wise man once told me, good teams can have a bad game every now and then.
Hey, but the great teams will fight each other on the sidelines. Hey,
Right.
I was at a game last year where 2 teammates, I'm not going to tell you who it was, I'll tell you in a minute, though, threw punches at each other. And I look at the refs, and they weren't going to call anything. I said, I guess it's not like a penalty, is it? Like,
don't know.
He punched his teammate. I mean,
Yeah.
it was on the field, but it was at a timeout. It was 4th and 1, and I'm talking about a brawl.
Wow.
Yeah, and I got it on video.
So number 4, Lake Hamilton. We just mentioned they beat Van Buren. Number 5, Little Rock Christian had the week off. Number 6, Benton, statement win over Marion, 55-13.
Benton's back, baby.
Yeah, and apparently Marion had some players not participating.
So were 4 of their starters this week. So yeah,
So that means they got 4 back then.
Bit with the injury bug a
that's
little
what
bit.
I'm saying. Yeah, they got 4 starters back. Yeah.
Yeah, so they had 8 out. Now they're back to 4. So this is going to be a good week for Marion.
Yeah. So number 7, Marion, as we just mentioned, lost to Benton. Number 8, West Memphis, also lost to Catholic. Number 9, El Dorado beat Searcy 56-35. Big win there for El Dorado. Scored a lot of points. And then number 10, Van Buren, as we mentioned, lost to Lake Hamilton. So this week, number 1 in 6A is PA 5-0. They'll play Siloam Springs at home. Siloam really struggling. They're 0-6 this year. Number 2, Greenwood getting the week off to heal up after those Panthers on Friday night.
They got every bit of their whatever they wanted. They didn't want
especially on the sideline. Number 3, Catholic at Sheridan. Number 4, Lake Hamilton versus Greenbrier at home. Number 5, Little Rock Christian versus Mountain Home. Number 6, Benton at home versus Greene County Tech. West Memphis, number 7 versus El Dorado. Number 8, Marion at Searcy. Number 9, El Dorado at West Memphis. And number 10, Van Buren at Russellville.
So I was doing I do the Letterman's Club letter that I send out every week for Greenbrier. I was looking up some stats. And so this Crutchmer kid for Lake Hamilton, he's averaging 30 yards a reception.
Yeah, I guarantee you it's a pop pass. It's got to be.
Even if
I
it
averaged
is.
21 my sophomore year. I had 1 catch though. So because I remember I made fun of all the receivers. Like I'm averaging the highest.
I got the highest average in the team.
I ran the wrong route too. By the way.
But their quarterback's like the most efficient quarterback in the state of Arkansas because he's like 8 of 9.
Got 30 yards per catch. I mean,
Yeah.
But he's like 8 of 9 every week or 9 of 10 because I guarantee you it's like the PA started last year.
Yeah.
They started the.
Well, here's the deal. They're running the wing T, so you know what they're running? They're running flood
Bootleg.
routes where the halfback is out in the flat, or they put him on a seam corner where he can read the safety.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing with him. Yeah, so out in the flat, okay.
When you have
who
10
can
guys in the
cover
box.
him one-on-one?
Yeah, when you have 10
exactly.
guys in the box stopping the run, it's a lot easier to
And
pass.
you got a Division I athlete right there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to Oklahoma State to wrestle.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Oh, really?
yeah,
who?
Crutchmer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
you know, Crutchmer's dad, he's OBU's wrestling coach,
Oh, okay.
and then his brother fights in UFC.
Okay, this is why we brought you on.
Yeah.
This,
So
this is the
there's
stats
a
we need.
little bit of athletic ability in that Crutchmer family.
Well, both of his brothers wrestled D1, right?
Yeah, they both wrestled Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
I almost went the UFC
So what do you
route.
think? Hey, what do you think if somebody started talking trash to him on the field? Do you
It's a
think,
blast double and they're dead.
okay.
I almost went the UFC route, but I decided insurance instead.
Yeah. So Crutchmer's got 1,262 all-purpose yards.
Wow.
Through 5 games this year.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, so that'll take us into 7A last week.
Hold. Now you saw Greenbrier or Greenwood.
Yep.
Can they win it all this year?
No.
No.
You will see Lake Hamilton and PA the next coming weeks, and so I want to hear about Lake Hamilton and if there's physical.
I will be shocked. I think Greenwood can score. I think their offense is pretty good. Their defense is not very good. I don't think that they can stop a team like PA
Or like Hamilton.
or Lake Hamilton.
Really?
Yeah. And I haven't seen Catholic, so I really don't know how to.
I said it Friday night. I think P would be in about 3 scores.
All right, so into 7A we go. Last week we had Bryant, number 1. They beat Jonesboro 43-14. Conway, number 2, a statement win over North Little Rock, 35-0. That defense is playing some football right now. Their offense has always been able to put points up, but that defense is coming along. They're going to be hard to handle. Number 3, Bentonville beat Southside 48-14. Cabot beat Southwest 41-0 on Thursday night. Fayetteville lost a close one, 29-28 at Rogers. Number 6, Rogers beat Fayetteville. Number 7, North Little Rock lost to Conway. Number 8, Bentonville West won 41-0 over Springdale. 9, Northside beat Central 61-7. And number 10, Southside lost to Bentonville 48-14. So this week, number 1, we still have the Bryan Hornets. They're holding on by a thread.
Oh,
Matty,
okay.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
I know I didn't do it this week, but I always send my picks to Matty, and then he looks them over and tells me what he'll let me do and won't let me do. So he looks it over and he says, well, here's what I think, and we kind of try to come together. This week I almost did it.
Hey, I called Barry and us and our 7A guys. Like, I mean, do you bump Conway up to 1? I mean, it's legit. I mean,
Can't.
But you can't. You can't.
That's right.
Because
No.
because Brian,
You have to respect the 4 state championships.
and the 46 games in a row in state.
Yeah.
That's right.
So when Conway plays Bryant, Bryant will have won 50 in a row. That'll be the 51st. But I do think Conway,
Conway's
I don't
playing
want
good
to say it. I don't want to say it.
Don't say it,
I'm going
Thomas.
to say it. But if I had to, gun to my head, somebody said, your life's on the line, who you going to pick? I'd probably pick Conway. Yeah. No, I mean, so
So you're telling me there's a chance.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, chance. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, Conway. So we were there today for the first Community Bank Scholar Athlete of the Week. Have y'all seen Aaron Smith?
No.
Oh, man. He's the left tackle. He's 6'6", 270. He's got a 33 on the ACT.
Good now.
And like
Smart
a 4.28. I mean, 33. We had to look it up to see if that was possible.
Yeah.
We're like, I was like, what is that not?
I think you can go 36.
Yeah, no, that's what we found out. We were like 33. I mean, we've been doing this Scholar Athletes for a while, and we've had 31s and 32s, but not 33.
Yeah.
And he is a monster.
So Logan Jessup plays at UCA, good friend of ours, and went and watched him Saturday. Well, Friday went ate lunch, and so he spent a semester at Conway student teaching, and did a lot of work with the football team. He said, "Man, they're good, right?" And like he talking about how fast the offense.
Oh, everybody says you cannot simulate their speed.
No.
After practice, you can't do it. You cannot, no matter what you do, you have to have 3 teams on offense on scout team. They're just going 1, 2, 3 just to simulate
Right.
the plays. I mean, you can't do it.
So we still have Bryant at 1. They will play at Central this week. Number 2, Conway. They will play at Cabot. Big rivalry game there. Number 3, Bentonville will play at Rogers Heritage. 4, Cabot will be at home against Conway. And 5, Rogers will be at Bentonville West. That'll be a good ball game. Fayetteville, number 6, they'll play Fort Smith Southside. Number 7, West, will play Rogers. Number 8, North Little Rock, will play Little Rock Southwest. Number 9, Northside at Jonesboro. And then moving into our top 10 this week is Rogers Heritage, who beat Harbor 41-39, but they have to play Bentonville this week.
Yeah. Kevin, you going to go with Heritage again this week?
Not a chance. Yeah, that's not going to happen this week. Sorry, boys.
All right, Junk, so give us our stats for our picks last week.
Oh, I'm about to pull it up.
Yeah, it was close.
It was for somebody.
Hey, who are y'all going with Conway? Oh, I guess we're about to do that.
Dusty pulled out the win again.
Man, I tell you what.
Hootens.com. Hootens.com.
He is 2-0, right?
Yeah.
Or he's actually 1-1.
Yeah.
Or 1-0-1.
Yeah.
I'm the Quitman
right.
Bulldogs of Pickens.
That's right. That's for you, DJ. I tried to call him the other day. He didn't answer. First place this week at 20 of 25 is none other than the Hootens.com, Dusty Clark. Second place.
For those of you at home, I'm bowing right now. And
second place was Matty Stats at 9. He was 19 of 25 for 76%. Third place was Junk Crystal Ball Vegas at 18 for 25, 72%. And then Kevin, the newcomer, he was one behind, 17 of 25 for 68%, but he's coming this week.
That's right.
With a vengeance.
He's bringing the noise. So does that?
I had over 12 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's not good. It's like golf.
Oh, it's like golf? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
it's kind of like getting mercy ruled, Kevin.
So is that?
It's called the
All right,
Sportsmanship
yeah.
Award.
So
I'm ready. Here
we'll
we
jump
go.
into our picks for this week. So starting off on number 1, we've got Mineral Springs at Dirks. And I couldn't go any other way but with the Hornets.
oh, 3. Maddie, I love you. Oh, yes. Well, if your team wasn't also my team at Greenbrier, I'd pull for them too.
Right. All right.
I, too, am going with the Hornets of Mineral Springs by 3. How many did you say by?
3.
Okay.
We'll go Mineral
I'm going
Springs by
Dirks
14.
by 3. Okay.
All right. Kevin said Dirks 3. What'd you say?
I got Mineral Springs by 14.
Okay, that's not our pick, by the way. That's Dusty's pick. We're going Dirks.
He's already
14?
14.
I love it, my man.
Hey, Hootens has already disowned him again. First pick.
Already?
You're out.
Oh,
You're
he's
out.
already out. You're back to volunteer status.
Hey,
All right, Maddie.
All right, number 2, Clarendon at McCrory. I've got Clarendon by 7.
I got Clarendon by 7.
got
Clarendon
Clarendon
by 10.
Got Clarendon by 14.
Go high. Go high. Keep going higher.
All right, number 3.
Hey, I meant to ask you guys, can we cap the high end at 35?
Yeah, I think it's a
That's
good
the mercy
idea.
rule.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever picked one that
Yeah,
high.
I don't think. Yeah,
I think Dusty's on.
Oh, he entered the
did?
volunteer.
Oh,
Mr. 8-Man over here.
Hey, I'm only one man.
All right. Number 3, Mark Tree at Des Arc. I've got Mark Tree by 10.
I got it by 15.
Got Mark Tree by 21.
I had Mark Tree by 17.
Number 4, Bigelow at Hector. I think this will be a good ball game here, but I got Bigelow by 14.
I got Bigelow by 4.
I got Bigelow by
Bigelow
15.
by 4. I had Bigelow by 14.
What'd you say, Dustin?
15.
All right. Number 5, Rising at Camden Harmony Grove.
ooh, this is gonna be a good one.
Gonna be a good one. I went Rising by 6.
Boy, I went back and forth what I did, but I ended up with Rising by 5.
I got Camden Harmony Grove by 7.
Oh, okay. This is gonna
I
be,
got the home field advantage. Camden Harmony Grove by 3. My man Caleb Johnson goes off.
I love it.
Is it? It's at Camden. Okay, I thought it was at Rising.
Split.
It's at Rising.
It's at Rising because Dusty's asked to go.
I've got
He
it
wanted
at
to
Camden
drive.
Harmony Grove.
I got Rising.
I had it at Camden, but I could be wrong. I promise.
Then you probably been looking at Max Preps because of Dusty.
Number 6, Bismarck at Glen Rose. I've
Max Prep says they're playing it like Texarkana.
That makes sense.
Now, what'd you say, Matty?
number 6. I've got Bismarck at Glen Rose. I've got Bismarck by 7.
I got Bismarck by 2.
Got Bismarck by 10.
I'm going Bismarck by a touchdown.
Okay, number 7, Magnet Cove at Center Point. I got Center Point by 14.
I got Center Point by 8.
I got
Center Point by 10.
I got Center Point by 17.
It's at Rising.
It is at Rising.
Yeah, the Rising's huddle
sorry.
says verse Harmony Grove.
Okay. So my apologies there.
Yeah, Max Preps has that wrong.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yeah, it's wrong on Max Preps, but I checked our book.
Y'all got to
Hootens-
stop
Hootens
looking at Max
Manual,
Prep.
and I checked Scorebook Live. So
Yeah, so that makes sense. So if you want the accurate information that Dusty Clark gets, go to Max.
Oh, he's
Preps.
back in.
He's back in. Okay. now that Max Preps is wrong on their locations, that's kind of a running thing here.
So we're on number 8, correct?
Yes.
All right. Number 8, Salem at Melbourne. I got Melbourne by 17.
Melbourne by 10.
I got
Melbourne by 20.
Wow, I'm going to go Melbourne by 14.
Hey, real quick, Kevin. So you said you were going with the home team over there at Rising.
He said
saying
Camden Harmony
Camden
Grove.
No, I know,
Grove.
but so you're even though it's not home.
Yeah, because his
Yeah,
guy's
well,
going
I'll stay
off.
with it.
Okay.
I know. Got my guys going off. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
All right. Number 9, Charleston at Mansfield. Charleston by 20.
Charleston by 13.
Charleston by 21.
I'll go Charleston by 22.
Okay. Number
Price is
10, Mina at Nashville. I've got the Scrappers by 17.
I got the Scrappers by 9.
I'll go Scrappers by 24.
Got the Scrappers by 20.
Okay. Number 11, Ashdown at Malvern. Boy, I'd love to watch this football game.
Me too.
You can watch on Hootens.com.
I've got Ashdown by 6.
I got Malvern by 8.
I like it.
I got Melbourne by 10.
Dang.
I got Ashdown by 3.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Split decision there as well. Number 12, Bauxite at Clinton. I've got Clinton by 3 in this one.
Ooh, I got box out by 2.
That's gonna be a good game.
Yes, it
It's
is.
gonna be a real good game. They're both those teams are real physical.
Yeah, I'm going Bauxite by 3.
I'm going to go Bauxite by 14.
Dang, I'm on an island on that one.
You are. What'd you say?
That's not a bad island to be on. I've seen Clinton and Bauxite both play. It's not a bad island.
All right, number 13, Lincoln at Ozark. I've got Ozark by 14. I think Ozark's finally starting to hit their stride a little bit,
I got Ozark by 1 just because Lincoln's not bad.
right?
Yeah, Lincoln will put up some points. I think Ozark pulls it out late, and they add to it by 13.
I got Ozark by 15.
Okay. Number 14, Harrison at Shallow Christian. I've got the Saints by 10.
I got the Saints by 10, but it could be more.
Yeah, I got Saints by 17.
Well, I got Shallow Christian by 18.
You do. He really does. He's got these all written down. I have to admit.
He's not just trying to one up you.
Oh, no.
All right, number 15, Camden Fairview at Magnolia. Another ball game I would love to be at. I've got Magnolia by 3.
I got the Panthers by 4.
I'm going Magnolia by 14.
Yeah, I'm going Magnolia by 17.
Oh,
Really?
I like it.
Yeah, the Magnolia's too physical, and
Yeah.
Camden Fairview's too inconsistent for me.
We played them down there one time in the playoffs, 2 years ago, and they scored 84 points on us. How much?
77.
77. I was close.
The only reason they
For
didn't.
Greenbrier?
Yes.
Really?
We scored like 60.
It was 55-77.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Okay,
was
it wasn't the difference in the 84.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah.
The only reason they didn't score 90 is because they fumbled twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we weren't stopping them, I promise.
No.
All right, number 16, Wynn at Valley View. A battle of two strong Eastern teams here, 5A East. I've got the Yellow Jackets of Wynn by 7.
I got them by 2.
I got Win by 10.
Yeah, I got Win by 21.
Okay.
Really?
But Valley View, I've seen them both. I've seen them both play. Wynn's really good.
Yeah.
But Valley View is not going to be able to stop. I mean, I don't know if they can score on Wynn's defense. Wynn always has good defense.
They do, but after seeing
They're not as good, though.
no, Magnolia handled them.
Yeah. But I mean, they did score 75 the week before, so they were averaging 80 points in 2 games.
All right, number 17, Pine Bluff at Mills. And I don't even have this one picked on my sheet because I don't know which way I'm going. But I'm going to go Mills in this one by 3.
I went Pine Bluff by 3.
I went Pine Bluff by 3, and I'm a Mills Common alumni, but I think the Cinderella hits midnight for them.
I got the Fighting Kevin Bohannons by 7.
Oh, I like it.
Number 18, Valonia at BB. This is a little bit of a rivalry here. They're so close in proximity. This one's a hard one to pick just because of the Pine Bluff game, the way they turned out both ways. But I'm going with the Badgers in this one by 3.
I went with BB by 1. I guarantee you BB's fired up to play Valonia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got BB by 4.
I got BB by 7.
Okay. Number 19, Van Buren at Russellville. This will probably decide the number 10 spot in the 5A. These two teams are pretty similar in style. I'm going to go with the home team in this one. I've got Russellville by 3.
I went Van Buren by 1.
Got to go with my man Malachi Henry. They're going to win by 3.
Yeah, I got Russellville by 14.
Okay.
Wow.
Number 20, Eldo
They're
at
playing good.
West Memphis. I've got West Memphis by 7.
I got West Memphis by 6.
El Dorado got mad at me last week because I didn't pick them.
They did.
And I was a resident there 2 years wearing the purple under scooter register. So I'm going El Dorado by 12.
Hey, I'm a Stephen Jones fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, after a 4.5-hour bus trip, I'm going to have West Memphis by 8.
Okay. Number 21.
Hey, hang on 1 second. How much did you say, Kevin?
12.
12? Okay.
21.
Yeah,
This is where we win it, Dusty. This is where you win it.
Marion at Cersei. I've got Marion by 10.
Marion by 7.
Oh, man, they let me down last week, so I got to go with Marion by 7.
I got Marion by 13.
Okay. Number 22, Morrilton at Whitehall. Man. I'm going Whitehall by 3.
What?
I went back and forth. I just couldn't do it.
Oh, I'm going with the darn Devil Dogs by 9.
Yeah, I got Motown by 10. I just Whitehall just
That
They
BB
can't throw the ball.
game, just BB the BB loss was still just a good loss.
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, it's a great loss, but I still got Whitehall by
Yeah.
14.
Number 23, Rogers at Bentonville West. I've got Rogers by 13.
I got Rogers by 6.
I've got Rogers by 2.
Got Rogers by 10.
Okay. 24, Fort Smith Northside at Jonesboro. I've got Northside by 7.
Northside by 8.
I got Northside by 6.
I got Northside by 9.
All right, in our last pick for the week, we've got the rivalry between Conway, the Wampus Cats, at the Panthers of Cabot. I'm going Wampus Cats by 17.
Oh,
I'm going to say,
I like
man, I honestly, Cabot's going to have a tough time scoring on Conway.
And stop.
Yeah.
And stopping them, but just that power, slow it down and try and just run over you is not going to work.
Let's be honest. You could just stop that. They're going to have a tough time.
Yeah. I'm going to say Conway by 21.
I mean, because is this 7A just a two-man race?
I think so.
It is.
100%.
I got Conway by 24. Cabot's one-sided. Love A. Bowen to death. They cannot throw the ball, and they will not stop Conway on Friday night. We're going up there. We're going to do the show from there on Friday
All right,
afternoon.
good. I'll see you there then because I'll be there the full
all
game.
the Cabot's excited. They're excited for it. A lot of, this used to be a non-conference game. These two used to play each other, so looking forward to it. But, I got Conway by 24.
Yeah, Conway by 17.
Okay, I'm doing my pick then. I'm going Cabot big. Big.
That's
Off the
Cabot
top
big,
rope.
huh?
Just
that's Hootens.
Mercy Rule Cabot.
Hootens.com. Going with Cabot.
Yeah, there's your Hootens.com.
Yeah. Now, this is my one pick of the night, and I'm saying Cabot big.
Awesome.
This will be. I can't wait for this to be a fun game.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see Conway first, like in person.
I'm actually doing color in that game for 92.7.
Again?
Yep.
Are you? So you okay? Good.
Did they fire Eric?
No, he's going to be there too. Yeah. Be a 3-man show.
Oh, 3. So, you must have really impressed.
I don't know. I just think they needed somebody else.
All right. Well, I'll be up in the press box and then eating hot dogs and stuff.
Man, I'll try to walk out to my truck and listen a little bit, but I'm gonna probably be on my couch most of the time watching it on TV.
All right, well, y'all not going to Lake Hamilton? They don't need the chain crew there.
I'm not on the chain crew. I'm the retired broadcaster for the network.
I don't know if I'll be asked back.
Hey guys,
yeah.
I got to get out of here. But thanks for having me again.
Yeah, thank you.
And we'll do it again next week.
Yeah, we've had a blast. We appreciate you coming on with us.
All right, Kevin. Appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon.
Before we go start stats, I had to say, shout out my Connor Baker.
Oh, yeah, man.
Okay. 14 more touchdowns.
14
more to break
to
the record.
catch
Cedric Houston.
That's pretty
From Clarendon,
yeah.
Arkansas.
Hey, I want to go to that game when he breaks it because I want to break the news to Cedric.
One of those touchdowns, those record touchdowns, I hit him and didn't tackle him on.
Really?
Yeah, Houston.
Yeah, so he would only had to have 13.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'd have tackled him, I could have.
Yeah.
Because Cedric's like 8 or 9 above anybody else.
Yeah, like D'Angelo Williams is like 90.
Yeah.
He's 97. I mean, so.
Wow.
And Michael Dyer was like 89.
Yeah, Michael Dyer's up there.
Yeah. I remember my first time when I got to 97 touchdowns. I remember really clearly. It was
Yeah.
like the second game my senior year.
Humility runs deep in here.
Hey, that's called a shovel pass. When
That's right.
Was it against England or Bismarck or
Yeah,
who?
yeah, exactly. It was a team that had 12 guys.
Oh, he was playing Marshall. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. But anyway, so I heard that on the radio the other night, and I was jacked because he's my guy.
Yeah.
He's probably
Stud.
And also last week, I know you probably have it in your notes, but he had 4 touchdowns, like rushing, I'm guessing, and then. Coach goes, he had 4 touchdowns rushing and then 3 interceptions. Like, dang, you're gonna say that out loud for the quarter? I was like, he goes on defense. I was like,
On defense, yeah.
okay,
Yeah. And like 9 tackles.
Yeah. I mean, 3 interceptions. Who's throwing the ball to him that many times?
Right.
I mean, throw it the other way.
Yeah, no doubt.
But anyway,
Well, we're rooting for him. That'd be awesome.
I want to be there. So it'll probably be 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I hope I'll be there.
Awesome. All
I'll
right.
see you
All right.
later.
See you, Thomas.
Thanks, Thomas. All right, we're going to go into our player highlights this week, and we've got a bunch of them. A lot of kids had really good games this week, but we'll start out at Batesville. Mr. Wyatt Fowler for Batesville had a 50-yard pick six.
Can I do my shout out for my boy?
Do it before you load.
Okay. Hey, before.
Oh, yeah, you read that one off. Read that one off.
Once again, the one-man army from
The one-man army.
The one-man army from Fountain Lake, Arkansas. Juan Diggs. Get this stat line.
Yeah. Take a deep breath.
3 carries, 88 yards. They tackled him twice. 1 touchdown, 4 catches, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns, 14 tackles, 1 interception that was returned 58 yards for a touchdown, and a 88-yard kickoff return for a touchdown.
Holy cow.
I heard he did a fundraiser at halftime for the band.
So is this kid, I mean, obviously he's an incredible athlete. Will he play at the next level?
I don't. He's going to get metricked out. He's 5'8",
Yeah, not
160
big.
pounds.
I
but
gotcha.
You can't measure heart.
That's
Let
right.
me tell you, that's the New England Patriots won a lot of Super Bowls with guys like that, and he could go to an OBU, Harding, somewhere like that, Henderson, and
Play slot.
yeah.
He's that guy. I mean, talking to Coach Shelton, I asked him, said, just tell me a little bit about him. He said, first in, first out, or last out. He just that guy that you want on your team.
That's awesome.
And he's got a stable of running backs, and a quarterback's really good. But he said, one, we knew he was going to be really good on defense. We didn't know he was going to break out on offense. But his last 2 games, his stat line is just off the charts.
And that's the kind of guy that walks on somewhere and ends up with a scholarship in 2 years.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I appreciate it, guys.
Thanks,
Hey,
Dustin.
thanks, Dusty. Be careful. All right, Maddie.
All right, so Wyatt Fowler for Batesville, I think that's where we're going to start this week, Junk. We had a 50-yard pick six.
All right, Shadarius Plummer from El Dorado, 30 carries, 216 yards, 5 touchdowns, 4 catches, 32 yards. DeAndre Burns Jr., El Dorado, 10 catches, 152 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 carries, 28 yards, 1 touchdown. I almost kept going. And I
stole
just
my
realized
thunder.
as I was reading that, I started on the opposite page of what I thought I was doing good.
It's all
so you'll
good.
have to go back and do the first one.
All right, so in Conway, Donovan Amalo, 320 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Boogie Carr, 107 yards, 3 touchdowns. And that's it for Conway this week.
I'm going to go back and do the first one because I skipped it because I thought that was the one you read. But also with El Dorado's, Colin Parker, 17 for 24, 262 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 carries, and 30 yards. All right, so down at Heritage, Carter Hensley, 15 for 22, 276 yards, 2 touchdowns. J.J. Lockett, 6 catches, 142 yards, 2 touchdowns.
In Maumelle, Trayvon Rawls, 12 carries, 161 yards.
Down at Pine Bluff with the Zebras, Courtney Crutchfield, 2 catches, 85 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 40-yard pick six.
Very nice.
Yeah, there's more in there.
There's a bunch of them there.
Yeah. Will Howell, 8 for 11 from Pine Bluff, 221 yards on those 8 completions, 4 touchdowns. Landon Holcomb also throwing the ball, 6 for 10, 164 yards, 2 touchdowns. Blake Hedgewood from Pine Bluff, 4 catches, 199 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's impressive.
That's impressive.
Austin Dindy, Pine Bluff, 2 catches, 67 yards, and 1 touchdown.
Down in Mineral Springs in Hornetland, Mr. KJ Hayes, 11 carries, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns. Von Derek Stewart, 12 carries, 164 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 conversion. And then KT Thomas, 15 carries for 198 yards and 2 touchdowns.
That's unreal, man. 498 yards total.
That's awesome.
Team just running. They also had like 100 yards passing,
Wow.
All right, Bentonville West, Jake Casey, 17 for 24, 251 yards, 4 touchdowns. Nick Bell, former player of the week.
Yes, sir.
He was 5 catches, 112 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then Ty Durham, Bentonville West, 4 catches, 74 yards, 1 touchdown.
Over in Rogers, big win last week. JT Miller made a 38-yard field goal with 9 seconds remaining to beat Fayetteville. And then Dane Williams was 24 of 38 for 271 yards and 2 touchdowns.
In that loss, Drake Lindsey, quarterback from Fayetteville, 28 for 41, 365 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's a stat line.
Yes, sir.
Latch McKinney from Fayetteville, 6 catches, 89 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Mr. Garyon Curry in Magnolia, 220 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Joe Trusty, Alma, took one on the chin Friday night, but he was 13 for 26 for 137 yards and 1 rushing touchdown.
In Farmington, in that win against Alma, Sam Wells was 7 of 11 for 71 yards passing, also had 12 carries for 104 yards and 2 touchdowns, doing a good job filling in for Mr. Van Zant. And also in Farmington, Russell Hodge, 12 carries, 97 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 catches for 21 yards.
Fort Smith Southside, Isaac Gregory, 126 yards running the football with 2 touchdowns.
In Lakeside, Jacob Hermo, you did this on purpose.
I know it. There's another one that's worse than that, and I hope you did.
26 of 47 for 360 yards and 3 touchdowns. If he plays like that, I can say his name
You can
anyway.
say his name. Yeah. Noah Freeman from Robinson, 17 carries, 237 yards, 3 touchdowns. Wow.
That's awesome.
It is. Quentin Murphy from Robinson, 9 for 17, 13 yards passing. That's not right. I must have left a number out. He had at least 13 yards passing. 14 carries, 58 yards. I'm pretty sure he didn't have 9 receptions for 13 yards.
All right.
Probably 130.
Yeah. Over in Mills, Mr. Jabray Shaw, 3 interceptions with an 85-yard return for a touchdown.
He also had another touchdown I heard today.
Okay.
Kevin was on the buzz, and he was talking, and I think he had a rushing, or no, it was a receiving touchdown.
Yeah, Jabray's a heck of a player.
Yeah, he is. All right. At Lavaca, Maddox Noel, 9 for 10 passing, 119 yards, 3 touchdowns, 18 carries, 183 yards, and 1 touchdown.
Wow, that's a heck of a ball game.
It is.
In Prairie Grove, Ethan Miller had 16 carries for 295 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Cole Ketchum, Hackett, 26 for 43, 203 yards, 1 touchdown. Hey, let me tell you something, too, and we'll get to it in a little bit, but Maddox Noel is not the player of the week this week, and any other week he would be.
Sure.
But there's a reason why the one is. You may already know, but we're going to get to it in a little bit.
Yeah. And then you back up to Ethan Miller, 16 carries for 295 against a Harrison defense that prides herself on stopping the run. Yeah, that's a heck of a ball game. Over in Bentonville, Mr. Josh Ficklin, 17 carries for 116 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Carter Nye, 19 for 25 for 303 yards and 3 touchdowns.
I can skip Juan Diggs.
Yes, you can. You can save some breath.
But another 8-man, Peyton Mills down at Cutter Morning Star, the sophomore quarterback, 25 for 34, 435 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Wow.
That's a name we'll see in our Players of the Week here soon.
Absolutely. That was awesome. Over in Bauxite, Kyle Volk, 14 tackles, 1 forced fumble, and 2 recoveries.
That was the other one I was hoping you'd get the name, because I looked at that and I was like, I think it's Volk. But there's a lot of C's, Q's, and all. All right, so after Kyle is Matthew Contreras, a name we've heard quite a bit down there at Hot Springs, a former player of the week here on Between the Mats, 16 for 25, 370 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. That's 20 yards a pass.
Yes, sir. Got another one.
Oh, Derek Hicks Jr., boy, I've been doing that a lot. 9 catches, 249 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Over in Russellville, Mr. D.A. Reed, 7 of 10 for 97 yards and 3 touchdowns. And Tracy Daniels, 13 carries for 125 yards and 3 touchdowns.
All right, Batesville, Gabe Witt, 4 carries, 143 yards, 1 touchdown, 36-yard reception. Mike Townsley, 15 tackles. And Isaiah Garcia, 65-yard pick 6.
All right, in Sylvan Hills, Mr. Dylan Harris, 19 carries for 114 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Heath Griffin, Harding Academy, 21 carries, 99 yards, 1 touchdown. Levi Mercer at Harding Academy, 10 tackles, 4 for a loss for 26 yards and 1 safety.
He was playing in their back.
That's right.
Over in Pocahontas, the myth, the man, the legend himself, Connor Baker, 29 carries for 178 yards, 4 touchdowns, 5 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and 3 interceptions.
I mean, he could literally be on our Player of the Weeks every week.
Yes, sir.
It's unreal.
It's amazing.
14 touchdowns from breaking the state record.
That's awesome.
Career. And it's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Arkadelphia, a name that we like to say because we're big fans of Donovan Witten. Great quarterback. I think maybe the best in the state. 10 for 13, 182 yards, 4 touchdowns. And then Latonio Hughes, one of his primary targets is 2 catches, 54 yards, 2 touchdowns. Carter Babb, 4 catches, 35 yards, a touchdown. Jay Purifoy, 5 carries, 97 yards, and a score. Kyle Reed, 5 carries, 98 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
How about Mr. Hughes having 2 catches and 2 touchdowns?
I guarantee you that was up both in the first half, too, more than likely.
That's pretty awesome. Over in Wynn, John Watson, 14 carries, 102 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Kobe Davis, 16 carries, 116 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Avion Jones, 3 carries for 53 yards and a score.
And then Cameron Smith there at Wynn had 11 tackles.
Yep.
Jalen Dupree at Malvern, one we talked about earlier, 19 carries, 265 yards, and 5 touchdowns. It's unreal.
That's impressive.
Cedric Simmons from Malvern, 8 for 10, 141 yards, 2 touchdowns. Dylan, I think it's Dylan. It could be Dylan even. Caradine, 4 catches, 65 yards, 2 touchdowns.
At Catholic, Mr. Sam Sanders was 10 of 17 for 164 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Also carried it 13 times for 68 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Brooks Ward with 4 catches for 102 yards and 2 scores.
All right. Rivercrest, Cavante Washington, 8 for 11, 156 yards, 1 touchdown. No, I read the wrong one. Sorry. Is that right?
No, that's right.
Okay, go ahead.
And then over in Rivercrest as well, Mr. Kobe Turner had 7 carries for 115 yards and 2 touchdowns.
We're struggling, man.
Mr. Braylon Russell at Benton, Mr. Hog commit himself, had 21 carries for 168 yards and 4 scores.
Easton Hurley, Lake Hamilton, 6 for 9, 182 yards, 1 touchdown, 6 carries, 48 yards, and a touchdown. The wrestler, Justin Crutchmer, Lake Hamilton, 4 catches, 137 yards, 1 touchdown, 12 carries, 45 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
Man, he's a beast.
He really is. Now I'm scared to see him.
In Newport, DJ Marshall, 10 of 16 for 189 yards and a touchdown. Chris Young, 16 carries for 202 yards and 4 touchdowns. And Kylan Cright, 4 catches for 128 yards and a touchdown.
At Greenwood, Hunter Houston, 38 for 26. That's not right. I'm guessing it's 26 for 38.
I think that's right. Yeah.
351 yards, 1 touchdown, 10 carries, 27 yards, and 1 touchdown. Grant Carnes, Greenwood, 13 catches, 149 yards, 1 touchdown. Jake Glover, 12 carries, 168 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Hey, the Glover kid ran the ball hard.
He did, man. He's not very big, but, boy, he runs like his hair's on fire.
You better tackle him to the ground.
That's right. And Cabot, Mr. Abe Owen, mentioned him earlier, 6 of 8 for 56 yards and 3 scores, and also had 1 carry for 17 yards and a touchdown. And Evion Jimerson, 8 carries for 61 yards and 1 touchdown. And Owen Horn and Cabot, 8 carries, 47 yards, and a touchdown.
Eli Wisdom, we spoke about him earlier. You know, Eli every week puts up PlayStation numbers.
He really does.
16 for 22, 257 yards, 4 touchdowns, 8 carries, 63 yards, 2 touchdowns. Carter Holman, 6 catches, 115 yards, 2 scores. Bodie Neal, 4 catches, 86 yards, 2 touchdowns. And you know most of this was in the first half.
Right. In Lincoln, Jace Burks, 2 TD catches and 1 interception.
I want to say this about this kid here. You know, if you're listening and you're one of those kids out there that's from a smaller school and doesn't have a lot of representation, hey, man, put your stuff out there.
That's right.
I just happened to catch this on Twitter.
I got you.
Himself just saying, hey, I had a couple touchdowns. So I said, you know what? He's going on
That's awesome.
our stats.
That's what it's about.
We have dads that send us stuff.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I do
hey,
too.
man, be proud of your kid.
Absolutely.
Grayson Wilson, CAC, 17 for 24, 199 yards, 1 touchdown, 8 carries, 81 yards, 1 touchdown.
In Boonville, Dax Goff, name we've heard quite often, 16 carries for 307 yards and 3 touchdowns.
And that is a Boonville school record.
Is that right?
It is.
That's
Broke the
awesome.
school record. Over in Carlisle, Jason Sullivan, check this out, 26 carries, 259 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Jeez. In Prescott, Travion Dickens, 3 carries for 61 yards, and he carried it 3 times and scored 3 times. And Mr. Karsten Poole in Prescott, 11 of 20, I think.
Something, yeah.
220 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I hit a fat finger on that one, too. Coach Glass sent it to me today, and I was like, I need to put it in there real quick, and I guess I hit a fat finger. It was 11 to something. Yeah. I got a couple more I'm going to throw in here.
Okay.
And one of them, I don't even know the name, but I heard Kevin talking this afternoon. Kel Busby, the quarterback at PA, 366 yards passing with 5 touchdowns. And then I forgot to look it up, but the kid from Glen Rose had 299 yards passing, 5 touchdowns.
Okay. Very good.
Great week for them.
All right, and then that will bring us to our week 4 players of the week.
That it will, my man.
Actually, week 5, right? Yeah, week 5.
It's week 5. Yeah, I forgot to change that. You want to do them this week? Or you?
No way, man. That's your segment.
Oh, it's mine. Okay. Yeah. All right, so 2A. This is another one I picked up. I think I saw Randy Rainwater retweet it.
Yeah.
But Carlisle, because sometimes it's hard to get the 2A.
Sure.
And that's my fault because all I got to do is reach out to Caleb Shuck and probably get the stats. But Jason Sullivan from Carlisle is our 2A player of the week, running back there at Carlisle. 3A. You know, I felt like I was robbing the kid from Lavaca. But let me tell you, Dax Goff set the school record at Boonville for 300 yards rushing on, 16 carries?
Yeah.
He's our 3A player of the week. Jalen Dupree, man, what a week from him.
What a week.
Another week.
Yeah.
4A player of the week from Malvern. 5A from Prairie Grove is Ethan Miller.
That's pretty awesome.
That is awesome. Number 6A, Sam Sanders from Catholic. And then 7A, up there in Bentonville, old Carter Nye.
I love it. We've heard that name several times.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that will be it for our high school talk. Unfortunately, we have to talk about the Hogs.
We do.
Taking one on the chin, man. Just lose another one. Just didn't look very good, man.
I didn't watch much of it because I watched the UCA game.
Yeah.
But yeah, we struggled.
It's one of those things where when you're going to play the number 1, number 2 team in the country, you almost have to play a perfect ball game, and you have to start fast, and we just didn't. I mean, we looked very out of sorts on defense, and then when Bryce Young went down, we just didn't make any adjustments on the defensive side of the football. They bring in a quarterback that struggled a little bit throwing the football. I thought we would kind of stack the box and force him to throw it, and they rushed for 300 yards after that. So
we did score more than anybody scored on this year.
Yeah, and hey, we brought it back in the third quarter and
game for a while.
Had a chance, had an onside kick that I thought, man, we're going to get back in this thing. We scored and then just couldn't get to stop.
No,
had them 3rd and 15. They break one for 77 yards.
We're down defensively. Yeah. We know that. And here's the deal: these people that are we got these coaches who got to get rid of whatever. We got the best coach and defensive coordinator we've had in a long time. And we probably got a better offensive coordinator than we've had in a long time. I get frustrated with some of the third down calls and just some of the trick stuff in general. But when I'm like, man, this daggum Kendall Brow stuff again, I'm not saying we need to fire him. I'm just mad because I don't like that play call. I'm going to say something I might get in trouble for saying, but people with creative minds are kind of weird, okay? They just think out the box. Sure. And so you kind of, if you're a manager, you got to rein those people in a little bit. Yeah. And so if I own a business and I have a business that thrives off of things that I make something that uses creativity. I got a room full of these creative minds, and they're all over. They're bouncing off the wall all over the place. My job as a CEO, I got to rein those people in.
Sure.
And I think that's what's got to happen.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, that's what I get frustrated with the Razorback fans is, I mean, 2 years ago, fellas, like, do we remember where we were at?
Right.
Like how far this team and this program has come and what Sam Pittman has done and what everybody was singing. What's our defense coordinator's name?
Oh, Barry Odom.
Everybody's singing his praises,
Yeah.
you know, and now you're wanting to roast him and run him out of town.
I remember John L. Smith, and I remember Chad Morris. I remember those days.
Yeah, and I mean, this guy knows how to coach. We got to have some players.
Let me tell you, some days there's going to be years in this conference you're going to lose.
Yeah, that's
even
right.
if you're good.
That's right.
Most years.
Yeah, you know.
Let me tell you, he could be the best coach we've ever had, and we played in Alabama for 10 years straight. We'll be lucky if we win one, maybe two. And that's just fact.
It is right now, for sure. And this is a stat that kind of jumped out at me when I was looking at them. Bama was 9 of 14, which is 64% on third down. That's pretty impressive. And the Hogs were 5 of 17, which is 29%. So,
less than impressive.
Yeah, that's not going to get it done. So KJ was 13 of 24 for 155 yards and a touchdown. He had 17 carries for 38 yards. Rocket with another impressive ball game, 22 carries for 101 yards and a touchdown. Also had 2 catches for 19 yards. And Drew Sanders played his tail off, had 12 tackles, 1 sack, and 1 tackle for loss.
Well, that kid's an athlete.
He is. Hogs will have to regroup quick. They go to number 23, Mississippi State, this Saturday to take on the Bulldogs at 11 o'clock. You know, good thing about it, it's an early game.
Right.
So that's always helpful.
So Mike Leach might still be in bed.
He might be.
He'll come out looking like he's just rolled out of bed.
So what do you think about this one? I mean, Mississippi State throws it all over the yard.
Yeah. You know, Trey Biddy said today that this is one he had picked us to lose before the season even started.
Yeah.
Wally Hall says, we find a way to win this one, we won't lose the rest of the season.
Oh, really?
That's what he said today. I think that regardless of what happens, we still got a lot of football left to play.
Yeah, and I think we get a little bit – I mean, we're Razorback fans. They call them fans short
fanatics.
for fanatics.
Yeah.
I mean, we lost to the number 1 team in the country, okay? And,
right.
And that's what was supposed to happen.
After losing to a team that was supposed to be number 4.
Yeah.
Who probably has the guys.
Yeah. But we shouldn't have lost that
And we
game.
shouldn't have lost that game.
But yes, we're upset about the way we lost to Bama, but let's be honest, we weren't supposed to win that ball game.
No.
So let's not jump off the bandwagon yet. I mean, we still gotta stand behind these kids.
And we can still win 9 games.
That's right.
10 games.
10 games.
Yeah.
So UCA, big win over number 16, Austin Peay. Austin Peay was ranked coming into this game 4-1 on the season, and UCA just put it on them, 49-20.
Let me tell you, man, I was there. Absolute domination.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something else, man. I know I talk about Logan Jessup. This kid does not look like a huge, big monster football lineman, right?
Right.
He is unbelievably athletic, like deceivably athletic.
Yeah.
And watching him play, he's had a sack in every game they've played this year.
That's awesome.
Had 2 Saturday had 2 sacks. He had a fumble recovery, and I don't know, 6 or 7. I didn't look at him, but he had 6 or 7 tackles on top of that. Dude, watching him though, like he goes and he does an inside move a lot, and just, I mean, these tackles were 6'8", 350. They were monsters.
Yeah. And
he would just go inside, and you're like, well, he's beat. He just doesn't. It's just he doesn't stop. He just goes. He's just got a motor, and then, well, you know, they last a little bit too long in the pocket.
Yeah,
here he comes.
That's awesome. I love it. So we talked about this last week. I thought UCA would get this game because it's the first time they've been home. I think this is the game that they're going to look back on, and they turned that corner.
I agree.
McIlvain played well. He was 20 of 31 for 261 yards and 4 touchdowns. They'll get a little bit of a breather this week. They'll play a D2 Lindenwood that's at 2-2 on the season. They play them at home at 4 o'clock.
I'm gonna go with that one too.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Number 8, Harding beat Oklahoma Baptist 38-23. They will play at Southern Nazarene this Saturday. Number 4, Ouachita beat Northwestern Oklahoma 48-7. They will play Southwestern Oklahoma this week. And Arkansas State moved to 2-3 on the year with a win 45-28 over Monroe. They played James Madison, a team that moved up. They moved up this year from
D2.
D2. They've got incredible program. They're undefeated on the season, so that'll be a big game for Arkansas State. UCO moved to 3-2 on the year with a 45-3 win over Lincoln.
Playing some ball, man.
Yeah, they play their rival Northeastern State at 8 o'clock this Thursday.
It's Thursday.
Yep.
Are you going?
I think so.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, my man. You got anything else?
No, I'm good to go, man. I'm fixing to go home and just relax. It's been Tuesdays are so long. You know, I work on getting this set up before I go to football practice, because when football practice is over, I gotta come straight here and meet these guys and record. And when I get home, I'm just like,
and it's a lot of prep work too. Goes into it.
Prep work,
But we enjoy it and
love it. We do. We love it.
And thank y'all for supporting us. We'll check y'all next week.
Later on.
You've been listening to Between the Mats, your year-round source for Arkansas high school sports with Matt McJunkins and Matt Wilcox. Produced by Carl Spears, and special thanks to our sponsor, American Safeguard Insurance. I'm JB Brazil. Be sure to join us next week for another episode of Between the Mats.